Yes. All right. For my What a Wonderful World speech, I'm doing mine on the man Oskar Schindler. I'm going to start off with some history about what he did in his life before he was part of the Nazi Party, and then what he did to save around 1,200 Jewish people from concentration camps. One of the first things is his birthday. He was born on April 28th in 1908. His hometown is Svitavy in what is now known as Czechoslovakia, but at that time it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And he served in the Czechoslovakian army, and he also served what is called the Ostlands or Abwehr in 1936, which is part of the German Foreign Intelligence Office. In 1982, he married a woman named Emily, and that was after going to a series of trade schools in Brno, and he had various jobs during that time as well. And during his time when he just started the Czech army in 1938, he got the rank of Lance Corporal in the reserves. And in February 1939, he joined the Nazi Party. And in October 1939, he moved to Krakow. Now, here's a picture of, on the left, him, his father, and his brother. He's at the wheel. And on the right is a picture of his wife. Now, he did some things, like one of the major things he did was, first off, he bought a factory during this time from a bankrupt Jewish man. And he actually hired him to help out with his factory. The factory was named Record, and the factory was renamed. And the name of the owner was Abraham Banker. Schindler also owned two other factories as well. Now, one thing he did mainly is he did save Jewish lives. And the peak strength of the main factory had 1,700 workers and almost 1,000 Jewish workers as well. And many of these Jewish workers were from the nearby Krakow ghetto. And once he saw what the Germans were doing when they were starting to move people from the ghettos to concentration camps, he saw the horror and the killing of what they were doing. So he then strived to save as many as he could. One thing he did was he bribed SS officers and do some personal diplomacy so that he could move Jewish people from the concentration camps into the factory and let them live on site in the factory, in the barracks. And by doing so, he basically made it a sub-camp. And during this time, he was also tried 3 times at the SS of corruption, believing that they believed he was saving the Jewish people, that he was trying to save them, but he couldn't be tried because they didn't have enough evidence to it. And in October 1944, the SS moved in to move the Jewish people from that factory to another camp. Thus, he worked on his list, Schindler's List. Now, he worked on this list, that way he could save as many as he could as well. He bought another factory and named it, he relocated to Bernitz, and doing so with Schindler's List through, again, bribery, diplomacy, stuff like that. He moved roughly around 1,200 Jewish people, 800 men, 400 women. Now, the factory was classified as a munitions factory, but they only made one wagon load out of the 8 months it was in service. The reason why is he cared more about the Jewish people rather than making these munitions for Germany. And there's a picture of his first factory that he opened with all the workers. Now, one thing is that he did die in Germany in October 1974. And one thing is that he wanted to be buried in Israel, especially Jerusalem. But when he died, he was penniless. He had no money. So what many of the survivors did that he helped, they got money together and got his body to fly it to Jerusalem so they could bury him as honor for him saving their lives from the horror of the concentration camps. And he is remembered by, hopefully, you learned in history classes about him and what he did. He also, the movie Schindler's List, and a book that Schindler's was based off of, which is called Schindler's List, also called Schindler's Ark. And you can visit his grave in Jerusalem. And for his grave, it is a custom to place stones upon it. And these stones have inscriptions on them. In Hebrew, it is written, "Righteous among the nations." In German, for the inscriptions, "The unforgettable lifesaver of 1,200 persecuted Jews." In conclusion, I feel that Oskar Schindler was a good man, even though he was a part of he did use forced labor, but he was a good man because he did not want to kill them. He wanted to save as many as he could. That way he wasn't remembered as this man who put forced labor people in factories, made them work to death. He did not like that. He wanted to save them. That's why I feel like many are proud of Oskar Schindler for defying the Holocaust of what it was. Thank you.